Welcome back to the channel, and let's pick a team of the weekend then from the first weekend of the July internationals. Welcome to another beautiful, is it? Yeah, well, sunset's just happened. Sun has actually just gone down behind my shoulders here in KwaZulu-Natal. But yeah, of the games that I watched over the weekend, I'm going to pick my team of the week, the best 15 players, each one in their position. I'm going to pick the best replacement of the weekend because the replacements are having an increasingly big effect on the outcomes of games at the minute. So I've been doing this for a while now with Champions Cup, Six Nations and stuff. I'm going to do it now as well. The best replacement of the weekend and the top 3 players of the weekend overall. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and more importantly, tell me what you think down below in the comments. What do you think of the players that I've selected? Whether they merit their position, whether there's others that I've not mentioned and should have done. I'll be down there in the comments with you. By the way, I needed this. So I'm down at sea level-ish, where I am currently. I'm in the Zulu part of KwaZulu-Natal. And as I've learnt, KwaZulu means in heaven. Kwa in Zulu heaven. And it's easy to see why, because this place is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. It's like Wakanda. I've seen the Big Five in, like, today alone. Incredible. A really amazing place. And I needed a bit of downtime because those guys in Pretoria, man alive, they go hard. It's like living in a washing machine, being around those. Loved the time at Loftus Versfeld and in Pretoria. Glad to be here. Let's get on with the team of the week then, because speaking of people that went hard in Pretoria, number 1 jersey goes to Andrew Porter for me. Now, I am going to say at this point, I have not watched all of the rugby. So I haven't watched France against in Argentina. I've seen the highlights of that, but there's only so many hours in the day. I've been travelling. I was out. And I mean, I only watched live half of the Wales-Australia game. I've caught up and watched that game since, but I'm only going on the games that I've seen. Andrew Porter, you noticed it when he went off. Cian Healy, the drop from Porter to Healy is massive. And actually, Ireland's set piece was good against South Africa until the replacements came on for Ireland and until the bomb squad came on for South Africa. When those two things happened in tandem, Ireland got pumped. Andrew Porter was excellent again. Hooker Matt Fassler for Australia. My word, this guy carries hard and relentlessly, and he was part of a forward effort which really set some solid foundations, exactly what Joe Schmidt would have wanted. And no surprise to see 2 Australians who absolutely dominated their Welsh opposition. I guess it is hard to judge because what quality of a Welsh team were they up against? But just trying to be as objective as I can. And I am, when it comes to, for example, picking my top 3 players overall, I am very much considering who was playing who and using that as a context, because Australia were not up against the strongest opposition. And even, you know, Welsh fans would have to agree with that. So, but nevertheless, Taniela Lupu, all action, dominated at scrum time, big carries, the sort of performance he's become known for. And hopefully he can stay fit. George Martin, I love this kid. Do you know what? I have not been this optimistic about an England team for so long, and it's down to guys like George Martin. He's 22, and he just loves to smash things. People, rucks. I mean, it was unfortunate when it led to that injury to TJ Perinara, who I hope is okay. But that counter ruck from George Martin, it's just immense. He is a menace. He really is. And it's been very interesting speaking to South Africans and Irish fans as well, who are here in South Africa, and when they watched the England performance, there was a few names that came up. One of them was George Martin. I thought he was great. I thought Maro Itoje was really good as well. He could have been named, but I've gone with George Martin. I've gone with Franco Mostert for South Africa. Tyg Byrne was decent as well. Franco Mostert, man alive, that guy's got an engine. And he does so much on both sides of the ball. I think he may be one of the most underrated international rugby players in the world. And when I say in the world, I mean around the world, because as I've learned here in South Africa, this guy is not underrated at all. They totally recognise how important he is to this Springbok team. And he was great again. In the back row, sorry about the pictures. I'm working with limited technology here. Let me move over. It's all right if I come over here, Liam Wright. Thank you, Liam Wright. That was a captain's performance, wasn't it? Leading with deeds as well as words. He led from the front and just work rate and energy and attitude, and from a leader and with a team that's starting a fresh blank page, exactly the performance you want. Brilliant stuff. And Peter Steph-Toy. Do you know what? It was a slightly rusty performance from South Africa. They will get better. It's the start of their international rugby season. They haven't played since the Rugby World Cup. And even with that context, great players stand out, and Peter Steph-Toy is not just he will be the greatest South African player in his position, surely. But he's going to go down as one of the greats in world rugby, full stop. And he was immense. Line out steals, getting in the wide channels and carrying, awesome offloads, hitting more rucks and more tackles than any human should be capable of. And you will notice as well, Kaylin Doris, number 8, I'll come to him in a sec. You will notice as well, I'm in South Africa, so I'm keeping with the South African numbering system. So Liam Wright 6, Peter Steph Toy 7. If I was in England, Peter Steph Toy, you'd be 6. But as I'm in South Africa, I'll go with their numbering system, mainly because I'm going to be in the same stadium as him next weekend, and he'd be able to get me. So Kaylin Doris, number 8, awesome. Such a good performance. One of the best for a while for Kaylin Doris, who is, no question, along with Ardi Savia, along with Gregory Audrey, along with Ben Earl these days, one of the best number 8s in the world. Bobby V was very good as well. In fact, this might be the best single position, the most competitive single position, because Ardi Savia, Ben Earl, Bobby V, all very good. Aaron Wainwright was decent, but Kaylin Doris stood out above all of those players. That is the pack done and dusted. It's getting dark here, isn't it? It gets dark so... See the lights going on behind me. In fact, have a look at this place. How beautiful is that? Thatched Zulu Lodge that I'm in. Absolutely gorgeous. And those are fever trees behind me, which British soldiers used to think that they're called fever trees because they used to think they made you ill. But actually, all it was is that wherever there's fever trees, there's quite often mosquitoes, and it was the mosquitoes that were making the soldiers ill. Little fact for you. I've also learned that you can see the Big Five in like 2 hours going out on a drive in this place. Incredible. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with the back line, which starts with Alex Mitchell, another one of the players who, chatting to Irish and South African fans out here who got up and watched that game on Saturday morning, one of the names that they were mentioning, how good is Alex Mitchell? So slick. He is clearly head and shoulders England's best player, and England arguably lost the game because New Zealand's bench was good and England's bench options dropped right off. People have been clamouring for Ben Spencer to be given a shot. He got a shot and he was not good compared to Alex Mitchell. So England need to solve that issue, definitely. Alex Mitchell, well played. Fly half, DMac. Again, I'm so fascinated to know what will happen when Richie Mwanga is back and available, because I still think he's the clear number 1. But DMac, his distribution's so good. Short, long, his passing options, little dinks, real class player. As is Geordie Barrett, who I had as the best inside centre. Now, just like I said, number 8 is maybe the strongest position on the park. 12 is one of the weaker positions on the park. There were not many great performances. Damien Dialende, not at his usual best. Bundyaki, the same. Ollie Lawrence didn't really get much chance with the ball, was good in defence. The Australia-Wales game, it was kind of meh in the midfield. Geordie Barrett, what you can say for him is, big moments, he makes big plays. And he did that in the New Zealand win over England. Jesse Creel, that guy is absolutely class. 2% body fat and and an awesome international rugby player. For my money, best player on the pitch at Loftus Versfeld. I don't actually know who was man of the match, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jesse Creel. Awesome player. Sevu Reece on the wing. Okay, I was wrong. When I did the combined team, I put Emmanuel Faye-Waboso on the right wing. Sevu Reece outclassed him. How slippery is that guy? In fact, New Zealand have the slipperiest wingers in world rugby. I swear he Vaselines his legs. The other wing, Cheslin Colby, little magician, pulling rabbits out of hats again, as he does. Big moments, big plays. Cheslin Colby is on the right wing for me. And completing the back 3, England's George Furbank, another player who people were coming up to me and saying, your fullback's good. Absolutely cemented with the performance against Ireland at the end of the Six Nations and now this away in New Zealand. George Furbank is playing really well in big matches against quality opposition. And as I say, I have not been this optimistic about England in a long time. Disappointed about the defeat, optimistic about the future with players like this. So, best replacement on the day. Oh, I'm going to have to come over even further. As I say, I'm working with limited technology here on the road. Asafo Auma. Am I saying that right? Awesome off the bench. Absolutely brilliant. And had a massive impact for New Zealand. Their bench was better than England's. That's why they won the game. He was a big part of it. Top 3 players overall. So I have used the context of who was playing who in this one. So I've had to factor in Australia were playing Wales. And so guys like Taniela Lupu, I've had to sort of go, I have to factor that in with the weighting of the performances. And Peter Steph-Toy's performance, bearing in mind he was playing against the world number 2 team, I think he was the number 3 position for the best players of the weekend. I'd say guys that missed out, that might feel most hard done by, probably DMac and George Martin for me. But I've gone Peter Steph-Toy at 3, gone Jesse Creel at 2, and Kaylin Doris at number 1, who, had Ireland won, would have been the clear man of the match. Although, really, that's a conversation for another day. But they need to give the man of the match to the best player on the pitch, regardless of who wins, I reckon. But anyway, said my piece. Kaylin Doris, best player of the weekend. He was playing against the world champions in their own backyard, and he was absolutely monstrous. Brilliant performance. Brilliant weekend of rugby. Look how quickly it gets dark. I've been talking for, I don't know, what, 10 minutes? And sun's properly going down. So I'm going to go and get a feed in, which, yes, spoiler alert, is meat. When you're in South Africa, honestly, the meat's so good and they eat so much of it that if you order a salad, you're likely to be brought chicken. I'll see you on the next one.